Hello, we have been looking at discipline and we're looking at raising children that are disciplined. Today we're looking at what is the goal of discipline and when should discipline start. Discipline children or raising a disciplined child should be something every parent should endeavor to. And the goal is to raise, or the object of discipline is to raise children that are self-governing, self-regulating, respectful, responsible, and contributory, positively contributing to society. That is the goal of discipline. And this, like we have said, goes a long way on how the parent carries this out. We have seen from the scripture that God expects the parent to be the discipler, the trainer, the teacher, while the child is the trainee or the pupil, the one that is learning. So some of the school of thought we have in these days whereby people believe that you should allow the child to be what he wants to be. Don't tell him what to do. Let him express himself. Let him decide what he wants. They may sound good, but when we look at them in the lens of scripture, that may not result in the kind of goal that you want for your child. Because God expects you to take the role. You are the discipler. Just like we talked about apprentices under a professional learning. The apprentice doesn't decide what he wants. He doesn't decide his syllabus. He doesn't decide to take the lead. He follows the guidance. He follows the instructions. He learns from observing and from watching and listening and taking instruction. That is very much like what we are expected to be to our children in raising them up with that goal in mind. So discipline is not what you do to the child. It is what you do for the child because you already have a goal in future. You know what you want to achieve. You know that your goal is to raise this child to be self-regulating, this child to be self-governing, this child to be responsible, respectful, contributory to society. Then you begin to plan ahead how you are going to accomplish that. Now, let me give you an illustration. Many of us, for example, have some ornamental plants, creeping ornamental plants in our homes, or we see them around. These plants usually, when you plant them, if you want them to string around this structure, for example, you plant it and you apply a string to the shoot. And then you put the string where you want the shoot to go. And as you are watching and taking care of the plant, it begins to grow in that direction. You take it again and pull it up, pull up the string a little more, and it grows in that direction. And if you want it to take a curve, you guide the string in the direction you want that plant to go, and it keeps doing that until it forms the kind of, picture of a lovely growing plant, ornamental plant in your house. And that is exactly what training up a child in the way should go means. Meaning that you set the goal, you set the rules, you give the guidance, you teach the child what you want the child to say or to learn. For example, when a child begins to talk and people give him gift, you tell him, say thank you. And if he refuses, you insist, say thank you. And that is how the child knows that when he receives a gift, he should appreciate it. Or any other thing, say please. Tell the child to say please. Or you wake up in the morning and it's your family culture to have a family devotion. The child too learns that part of the family structure is to have a devotion in the morning or any time you choose. So God expects that you, the parent, are the teacher. The child is the trainee. You are the discipler. You give you decide, you set the rules, and the child obeys, learns to obey. The child learns to conform. That is what discipline or teaching means. And how soon should this be? Actually, it should begin as early as possible. The first 1 year of a child's life is one of the most important years because a lot of changes and a lot of growth. And that 1 year is a child, when the child is an infant, you begin to establish structures so that the child knows what the family is all about. You don't allow the child to parent you, the parent, but rather you mold the child to fit into your family structure. So discipline should begin very early. The first 1 year of a child's life are crucial, but looking at it broadly, the first 7 years are very, very important because that is when the child's character can be molded. That is where the child is growing. So we parents, we will not always have these children with us, and God expects that those very early years, called the formative years, are most important. And that is where we should begin to train them, to teach them morals, teach them good behavior, teach them how to speak, how to talk, how to relate with people, especially when they begin to show evidence of getting willful. When a child begins to assert himself and show some level of self-will, then that is the time to begin to begin to discipline the child. And if a child will not obey you, then God has provided a way that can be solved, and that is through pain. We will learn more of that in the subsequent episode. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to share with those who will benefit from this, and we will really welcome your comments. God bless you. Bye.